right, this is Doc Higginmeister's writing project. We are finding the reason for writing. This is episode 3. Fluency is our topic today. Fluency. We're going to talk about what that is and how my style of writing, which is dessert writing, fun writing, jelly bean writing, actually helps with your fluency. Now, this show is a little bit pointed at the teachers and the parents and those busy self-learners who they're not in a classroom, but they're just trying to learn it. I want to convince you of something. Fun and play in writing actually is productive towards building better writers. We're not just messing around, we're actually building skills. And those skills later on are going to help with the other stuff. Teachers, it's the stuff that you have to do and you have to put the grade into the grade book. Or for all your self-learners, having a lot of fun writing just your stuff helps you with all the writing you have to do for other people. And so today's topic of fluency is all about how we can build our skills through fun so that it can be used for fun and for work. All right, today our metaphor that's going to help us to see how this works is going to be engines. We want to build our writing engine. Fluency is basically how big your engine is. Now, if I got a big engine in my car, it can go fast. Or maybe it could pull a lot of weight. If it's like a truck engine, it can really pull a lot. But the big engines have more power and they can do more. They're louder. Think of like a NASCAR engine. When that thing passes, it's vroom. And now think of a little tiny itty bitty engine. Like, my son has this little remote control helicopter that weighs like almost nothing. And you charge that little battery, it goes zzz, and you can float it up in the air, but the engine's tiny. And can it lift much? No, it can lift just a tiny little bit of plastic and a little bit of the engine, and even the battery is super teeny because it's small. It works for the helicopter, but I want you to think of writing as you have an engine of some kind, and that engine's size and power is how much you've written, how many skills you have, how good are you at getting something down on the paper and then getting it finished, and what kind of skills do you have for making it better? Because honestly, no one writes perfect stuff the first time. I mean, like, no one writes perfect stuff. Even the best, and maybe I'll say especially the best writers, will write and then they'll take a pause and then they'll rewrite and take a pause because they've got to look for all the different things that makes their writing better. Now, the more you learn those kinds of things while you're having fun, the speed of your thoughts speeds up and the power of your thoughts and the words that get caught on the paper. Remember how I talked about that? Catching those words on paper before they get away? That process gets easier and more powerful, just like you're building a better engine. So you might be at a remote control helicopter engine right now. Super teeny, one of those little ones that's meant to be inside because it can't even handle wind. That's okay to be there. We're all there sometime. I want you to practice and have some fun, because while you're having fun writing and doing crazy stories or writing down things that just happened in your day, even that, making lists of things that happened in your day, that's all building your engine size. So you have a little more power, you have a little more speed. You're building your fluency. So teachers, parents, students, everyone, there's a reason why we start with play. The reason, well, it's like everything else. We don't learn anything for work. We start by learning it for play. Now think of it this. When a soldier has to go to war, they didn't start learning their skills of running around and marksmanship and fighting and strategy and all that stuff just then. They had to start a long time before, back when they were little boys and little girls, and they were running on the soccer field. And they were running and they were loving it. and they were doing squirt guns and I don't know, paintball or whatever little what are those little foam darts? Whatever it was, they were doing it for fun. Now they didn't realize that was going to help them later, and maybe that's a bad example. Maybe it's something else. But we start by learning it for fun. And we play with it, and that builds up our ability to run, builds up our ability to think. In this case, it builds our ability to write. And so I don't want you teachers to think that we're wasting time if we're talking about crazy stories like that mailbox who swallowed the mail. Remember from last time? That's the silliest story I've ever heard of. It's kind of a little bit crazy. But it's just for fun. Don't take it too serious. By putting that down on paper, you're building your skills. You're building your speed. You're building your fluency. Now, do you think you could build your engine into a NASCAR level engine where it roars? Not only is that fast, but it's also powerful? Well, sure you can. Can you do it without writing? Of course not. You got to write to be a writer. And so, that is your job. Build fluency, build your engine by writing fun stuff. Write stories about fictional stuff. Write stories about real stuff. Even just writing down lists. My wife loves writing down lists. She can write down everything she did in a day, and then when she does it, she crosses it out. Now, that doesn't seem very fun to me. That seems boring. She loves it. She's a writer, too. Do any kind of writing that speaks to you, and it'll build your fluency. All right, that's our music for our action point. Action point is this. Writers, build your engines. Keep writing. Start writing. Get a little notebook, and every day just do a little bit of writing. Some days do a fun story. Some days write what happened to you. Some days do something else. But every single day, play with your writing. That sound good? Sounds good to me. Remember, don't take it too serious. It's just for fun. All right. All these stories that you're writing, they don't have to stay in your notebook. In fact, I'd love to read them. We'd all love to read each other's writing. So what I did is I set up a Facebook page, www.facebook.com, of course, and then Doc Higginmeister's Writing Project. You can post your stories up into there, and we can all read them. And that can become a place where we all get to read each other's stuff, like a gigantic refrigerator for art. We put our art on the refrigerator, and we get to see it. Mom gets to see it. Family gets to see it. Here, we got a place to put our writing, like the world's most amazing refrigerator. Okay, we're done. Don't forget to have some fun.